What's going on, my YouTube family? It is a beautiful day today. It's just good, man. Good vibes out here. Today, actually, the plan was to make a car check video. One of you guys actually suggested that to me, and even though everything I've done to this car is on my channel in separate videos, it would probably be nice to put all of that into one video where you guys can check it out and see exactly what is done to this car. So maybe I was thinking I'll do that next video. I don't know. I went back to my old video where I had just lowered the car and I was getting out of my driveway, and I was just looking, you know, just through all the comments on all those videos in that kind of like time frame, and a lot of you guys were asking, like, how do you drive so low? What happens when you come to a speed bump? Your driveway is crazy, that sucks. Like, a bunch of this stuff, just like basically, how do I drive this car as low as it is every single day? And today, you're about to find out. So I think the best way to do this video is to walk you through how I get around. My everyday life in my car may be different for other people's cars, but for this video I will show you how I do it, how I get over speed bumps, how I get out of my driveway, and I'll show you why it works and why my methods work for this car and work for me. So the first thing on the list is my driveway. That is what I have to conquer every single day. If I want to leave my house or come back to it, the driveway is right there. Number one struggle, I guess you could say, in my car. It's not even a struggle. I do it so much, it's so easy. It's nothing. So what we're looking at now is how I typically get out of my driveway. I usually pull in forward, so I have to back out. So I'll just roll down the driveway all the way until just about the bottom, and I'll cut the wheel hard so I can get my angle, which is needed so I don't rip off my front bumper. And the goal here really is to just keep one wheel on top of like this little bump, like still on the driveway, as long as possible so my whole car doesn't fall and just crunch the bumper. So here's like another way of doing it. This way I usually don't do it much because it just takes a little longer. And this one I just cut back the steering and pull forward out of it. This way my lip literally does not touch it at all and I don't scrape anything whatsoever. So that is, I guess, a better way to do it, but it takes a little longer. Here's an example of what not to do. Yeah, so that's about worst case scenario when I'm rushing a little bit. So this is if I park backwards. It's super easy to get out. Just pull in, little angle, very slowly. Nothing major. It's really honestly not that bad. The diffuser doesn't hit. So now pulling into my driveway. Pulling my driveway is super easy. I get a really steep angle, almost parallel to my driveway, cut super hard that way. My tire hits first, just lifts my car up, and I drive up, no problem. Now, I don't usually back in, but if I do back in, it's still pretty simple. I just have to remember, keep the angle all the way until my front tires hit, and then I can cut the other way and come all the way back up. It's really, honestly, not that difficult. I don't usually back in just because it's a little more work. And I park in the garage now anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to back in one more time just for the sake of the video. This one was a little more smooth. Pop it up, cut the wheels really hard. So the reason for cutting the wheels when you go over stuff is because when your wheels are in full lock, your car actually sits higher. That's just how the geometry works, so it's pretty sweet. You see, it's not bad, right? I do this every day. It's honestly not bad. And also keep in mind, I was doing these very slow so that later in editing, I give myself enough time to explain what's going on. In reality, each of those maneuvers would take in between 5 and 10 seconds. Like, it's really not an issue. I can get out of my driveway just as quick as my dad could get out in his Jeep, so nothing. It's really nothing. Next thing we're gonna go find is a nice fat speed bump, because that is the most asked question on all of my videos that have to do with lowered cars. How the frick do you get over a speed bump? How does that car get over a speed bump? You must hate speed bumps. One speed bump and that car is toast. So I'm about to show you right now how to get over a speed bump. So this road right here is literally a perfect time to explain how to dodge potholes and whatnot. Some things you're just gonna have to take. They're not that bad. You might get a little lip tap. It's honestly, it is what it is. You know that you drive a lowered car, you're not gonna get over everything. Like, check this out. Dodge it a little bit, dodge it a little bit. See what I mean? Like, you could help yourself. These angle yourself so you get over the highest point. That way your car doesn't dip. You know what I mean? So for potholes, I would say the goal is to dodge them, or if you can't, try to get your tires over the highest point so that way your car doesn't dip and your lip doesn't smash the ground. Obviously it depends the size and, you know, how big the pothole is or whatever the obstacle is. You know, it depends. Every single pothole, every single speed bump, every single incline is different, and you just have to learn how low cars work and the science behind them, I guess you could say, like the geometry. Like, if you do this, what touches first, what will lift up, you know. You just gotta, it's something that you learn when you drive a lowered car. Also, something to note, there are times when you need to speed up and there are times when you need to slow down. This intersection right here I'm about to pass is a time where you need to slow down. So this intersection is really bumpy. You won't be able to tell on camera, but it goes up right there, down right here, up, bump, 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 bump. If I would have gone over that fast, I would have scraped everything. Like, I've done it already. I've done it multiple times. I'm not paying attention, and I just freaking send it over that intersection, and all I hear is ka ka ka, like that. My lip is just getting destroyed over it. So there are times when you need to slow down, and later in the video I'll show you some times when it is very necessary to speed up. Okay, we are at a speed bump. Granted, it is not the steepest speed bump in the world, but it's perfect for me to explain how to conquer something like this. So the best advice I can give for speed bumps is really simple. You see, I come in at an angle and I keep my angle throughout the entire speed bump. That's the most important thing. You need to keep that angle. Do not cut back. Don't cut the other way. You need to keep the angle to get over the speed bump. It's really simple. Now here's an example of what not to do. Do not cut back once you get over the speed bump. It ruins everything. Now granted, I didn't scrape on this particular try, but you're ruining the whole geometry of everything. You're just putting your bumper into the ground, and that is not good. Now granted, I know that was a very mellow speed bump, but to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I can't think of any really steep speed bumps around my area, nor do I want to go over them really. It's just for instructional purposes only. I'm heading back to my house right now. The other tips I can give you, I can't really show you with this car because it's honestly not low enough. You've honestly got to be pretty low to start changing your driving style. So I have a couple videos from my old car that I'll show you, and I'll also tell you a few things that you can do to help in certain other situations. Alright, we're back at my house now, and I'm going to utilize some old videos of my old car to teach you probably the most important tip to driving a lowered car. And the most important tip that I can give you to driving a lowered car, I'm not talking like slightly lowered, like track stands, I'm talking slammed on the ground. That tip is to freaking send it. You have to send it everywhere. You literally have to send it. No going slow, whatever, like, alright, you got this little crack over here, whatever, you can go slow, but if there's a speed bump, if there is a 1% chance that you're going to get stuck, you have to floor it. Have to. That's my #1 tip. That's how you drive a lowered car. Now my car, outside right now, the M4, is not low enough for this tip to really matter, unless it's like a big obstacle. But that car being so expensive, I would try to find another way around it. My old car, that car was on the ground. I'll show you videos right now. That car was literally on the ground. No gap between the bumper and the ground. Maybe a ½ inch between the whole frame and the ground. on a flat surface. That car, in order to drive around successfully, I had to send it every single place I went. So I'm gonna use a few videos and explain what's going on in each video. Hopefully it will give you guys some tips, you know, whether or not you have a lowered car and you're trying to learn some more tips to drive smoother every day, or you want to lower your car, or maybe you're just wondering how people with low cars drive every single day. So this first video I'm going to show you is what not to do. Now this video was taken afterwards, but regardless I can still explain very well the situation. You can see I'm getting pulled out by a truck, and the reason I got pulled out by a truck is because that self-wash was very steep to get into. I floored it in there, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, and unfortunately I didn't floor it out and I straight up just got stuck. Luckily for me, this was in Daytona at Tuner Evo, and at the same time Tuner Evo was going on, it was also truck week, so there was massive trucks everywhere, and I got one of them to just pull me out. I actually knew this guy from back home, so big shout out to him for helping me out. But the point in showing you this video is to let you know you have to send it. You have to send it. You can't get scared. You can't say, I don't want to ruin this. If you're driving your car on the floor, you're gonna ruin something. You should know that going into that. So the next video I'm gonna show you right here is a nice incline. So you can see me going up this steep incline right here. I just took it at a nice steep angle, cut and floored it. That's literally all you have to do. As long as you floor it, you will get up, I promise. I will guarantee you, if I would have taken that a little slower, I would have gotten stuck because my wheels were rubbing everything. My whole frame was on the ground. It's just, it doesn't work like that. When you drive a car that low, you have to floor it. So for those of you who don't actually know what my old car is, there's a video on my page. I'll put the link right here in the corner. I'll also post a video right now. I'm not kidding you, that thing was literally on the floor. That car was as low as it can possibly go. There's no going lower than that. Shout out Broadway Suspension, because they killed those coilovers. That was the only reason I was able to drive that low. So the last clip I'm going to show you is probably the most important clip I will show you in this entire video. It shows exactly what to do. Like, if there's one video to explain how to drive a lowered car, it's this 10-second video right here. Like, this is it. Uneven roads, steep incline, worse than a speed bump. This was worse than a speed bump, okay? The street, I kid you not, from one lane to the next lane had like a 3-inch difference. Like they were redoing the roads or something. It was horrible. Not to mention my car is on the ground. Maybe the highest part of my car was maybe like a 1/4 of an inch off the ground. So 3-inch difference is like a freaking jump, like a freaking jump from my car. So what I did is took it at an angle, like you're supposed to. I had to go wide in order to cut back in. So I went wide, I cut back in, and I just floored it the whole time. I didn't go slow over anything because I 100% would have got stuck. And this is what I'm saying. When you drive a car that is this low, you can't be afraid to scrape. If you don't want to scrape, don't lower your car. You know what I mean? So the only way for me to get up this particular entrance was to floor it. I had all the proper angles. As long as I had the angles and I floored it, I knew I would get up, and I did. So just watch this video real quick. Listen to everything. Look at the roads. Look at the entrance. Just watch everything. You can also hear me scream at the end because I was happy. I was pretty stoked that I got up there, no issues. So I hope this video helped. If anything at all, I hope you guys just enjoyed me scraping and watching some scrapes, you know? If you like this video, give it a fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment below. So on that note, that's a wrap, and I'll see y'all next time.
Why they wanna be me? It's not what it seems. Running to the bank, putting wet on my Achilles. We been thumbing blue faces like they Washingtons. On a run from MIA up to Washington.